Hi guys, it's ALCHEMY. How's everyone doing? Good, good, good. I hope. My first review of the year is going to be Cow by Zoologist, and it's very much long overdue. Or if you're from East London, Ca. One of the main reasons for that is that it's been a bit of a stumper, this one. And it's been a stump, it stumped me for the opposite reason that things like Sloth stumped me, where it was so much happening it took me ages to figure out. This one's been the flip side effect, and I've really had to find things in this one. Oh, it's been a tricky one, it really has. But I will review it and we will talk about it. I'm late to the party, so you probably already know what it smells like, but this is the ALCHEMY take on a Zoologist fragrance. So this is Cow. So it came out in 2022. I'm not sure when it came out. I think it was a summer release from last year. We've had quite a few since. Cockatiel, Sacred Scarab, and now we have Cardinal, and also Harvest Mouse is coming too. A lot going on. I'm behind. It's okay. And this one was made by Natalie Feisthauer. She's one of the big name perfumers. Zoologists have shifted in a different direction. Not totally, but they're now starting to use much more, I guess, recognized or perfumers that have a big back catalogue. Natalie's made things for Hermes and Cartier even, and what's the other one I saw? A lot. There's a lot of them anyway, so it's a different kind of take on making a niche perfume, I suppose. So this one is Cow. This one is obviously, from what I've smelled and from what I know now, we are dealing with the mildest, mellowest, coolest, calmest animal and addition to the Zoologist line. This one is cool as a cucumber. This one's even softer and cooler than Snowy Owl, actually. Yeah, this is actually kind of a bit closer to what Snowy Owl, I think, is. Anyway, let's move on with the notes. The top notes are sage and apple. The heart notes are milk, heliotrope, lily of the valley, violet, and jasmine. Base notes are musk, benzoin, vetiver, cedar, and amber. So I've got about this much left of mine. I don't know how well that's going to come out on camera because it's the first green screen I'm doing in this new setup. Let me spray it on my hand. I've worn this quite a lot. So when I say that I've had to find things in here, I've actually read and watched other people's reviews about this one, because either I'm anosmic to certain elements of this fragrance. I do remember Victor saying on one of his Facebook posts that he was saying some people can't smell the milkiness of it. I do, but it's not so much. So let me tell you, the opening for me is, there are two things that I smell the entire time, and they are two main things that I smell. Everything else in it is done with the lightest of hands. It's almost like all of the other ingredients were done with just the tiniest drop. So the opening, mainly I smell apples, and I smell a subtle creamy milkiness. It's not overbearing, it's not like apple ice cream or anything like that. So since that's what I smell mainly, let me tell you about the apple part. It's not tart or bitter or sharp, or it's not even actually that sweet. It's a mildly creamy apple without going into ice cream, apple ice cream territory. It's really nice. It's really pleasant. It smells super friendly and very moo. There is in the opening the tiniest touch of sage, and for me this one, if the note list is amazing, I think it looked really, really good on paper, and when I smelled it, I really had to try and find the notes in this one, and it was a little bit disappointing. It's a shame, but you can't win them all. You're not going to please everyone all the time. So I do get a touch herbal with a creamy apple in the opening, and I do really enjoy that part. The heartwear stages, it's kind of, I don't really get any distinctly floral part. I wish Lily of the Valley was more prominent here. I think it would have been a really nice addition. It is a tiny bit grassy, but I think that's possibly coming from this kind of creamy herbal thing, as opposed to it being a pronounced grass note, not like Snowy Owl where it actually smells of grass. So the heart parts it manages to become softer still, and the main thing that I smell is heliotrope, but again, the tiniest drop. The heliotrope here acts more like a softener as opposed to the fragrance smelling of heliotrope, smelling of that soft almondy cuteness that heliotrope gives. It almost is like it changes the texture as opposed to announces itself as a note. So that's the only slight change I get when I've worn it for about 45 minutes to an hour. The opening here, there isn't a touch herbal. I wish everything was just a bit more pronounced, but then it's a cow, isn't it? Yeah, it's not meant to be a shouty, loud fragrance. It's about pastures, and it's about meadows, and it's about milk, and it's about a very gentle, mooey, big animal. So after about an hour and a half, maybe 2, I still feel this apple milk thing. This is the whole way. It's almost linear, the fragrance for me. As I said, I do wish I could smell these other things that these other reviewers are speaking about, but sorry, I just don't. Maybe I'm anosmic to certain things that I didn't realize. You never know. There are definitely certain musks that I have trouble smelling. However, not in this one. The drying stage, and it does dry down very quickly. The heliotrope thing disappears quite soon after wearing it, I would say. It does turn into a musky apple cream, and it feels like a white musk. So it's a clean musk. Everything here is done cleanly. It's almost like a Calvin Klein advert. It's almost like Calvin Klein clothing, you know? It's plain, but it's done in the right way. So that's where I am with Cow. I get probably about 4 hours at most longevity out of it. I have reapplied it quite a lot of times because I really like to figure out the opening. The opening is where it's at its most textured and its most interesting. But everything here is like sleeping on a baby blanket. It's very calm, and I guess that's the idea of it. I just wish that Lily of the Valley was more pronounced. I wish that the sage was more pronounced. I wish it was a bit more milky, and the apple was less. I don't know. That's my own review of it. You can't love them all. I think for me, Cow is definitely not one of my favorite zoologists. I think there are far better ones, but everyone has a different taste, right? If you wanted to try a niche perfume that is not going to scare you at all, Cow might be the one. Or if you're from East London, Ka. It's almost edible, but it's also a bit soapy too. I don't know. Very, very soft and clean and cute. And I'm going to leave it there. That's my review of Cow by Zoologist. I'm Arch from Mono, trying to make the world smell better, one video at a time. I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.